for the Habs, what do you think is the grade? And this is with the Dobson trade, but even what do you think the Islanders did, like 16 and 17? Because they did best player available each time. So what do you think of that entire scenario for the Habs?
Yeah, I think it went well for both Montreal and the Islanders. I think it would have been a slam dunk for the Isles if they were able to trade up for Hagens, but clearly no team in the top seven was at all interested in playing ball. Like they all had their guys and they were going for them rather than trading down. So it just wasn't meant to be in the end. And Hagens landed in Boston to my dismay because like Habs Bruins rivalry is going to get interesting with Hagens in a couple years' time, but. I think that that landing Victor Eklund at 16 is an absolute coup. Like that's a fantastic value. Ishan Aitchison, I think, he's a really good prospect. I think there's a good chance he ends up being like a third line bruiser, a third pairing bruiser, maybe a second pairing bruiser, but I don't really see the upside beyond just that. So for me, he was more like an early 20s, mid 20s option than like 17th overall. I thought there were other guys left available, like your Lyndon Lakovics or that brand of player that could have also been very interesting, but even like Logan Hensler in terms of getting a right shot defenseman in or Blake Fiddler to replace Noah Dobson after that deal. So I thought that was interesting, especially because my initial impression when they selected Aitchison was like, oh, I guess they're gonna move Romanov now as an RFA because like Aitchison is just a clone of Alex Romanov. And then they turned around and gave him an eight-year extension at $6.25 million. So I'm now like interesting. You now have guys like Isaiah George and Romanov and now Aitchison that are all relatively similar mold in terms of focusing more on defense than offense. And where is the offense going to come from the blue line? Where's the puck moving necessarily? I think that's like one lingering question I have there with the Islanders, but that's kind of nitpicky. I think overall the Isles did great on draft day. They had a great draft class and they made the best out of a bad situation with Dobson. Like they didn't have the most negotiating leverage compared to if they would have moved him a year ago after that 70-point campaign, they would have gotten like 4 first-round picks or something for him rather than two middle of the pack first rounders and a solid potential third line guy in Emil Heineman. Who I think is a great fit in New York with the Islanders. Like he embodies the vibe, like the style and the vibe of the New York Islanders perfectly. So I think that's a great fit. But for the Montreal Canadiens, I'd give it an A. There are a couple picks in the draft where players I wasn't overly familiar with that I think are fine, and where I maybe would have taken other swings instead. Like they took Max and Vig out of the USHL in the seventh round. I mean, seventh round pick. I'm very nitpicky, clearly, but there are certain picks here where I thought there's a little bit more value on the board than what they got, but still. I thought that the Habs, even like independently of Dobson, which was already the big coup, right? Getting your number one right shot defenseman of the future, who's now locked up for 8 years. I think that's like really, really good business for the Montreal Canadiens. And I mean, I think in terms of 1-2 offensive defenseman combos league wide, can you find a better one than Noah Dobson and Lane Hudson? Like, I think that's a pretty dynamic duo in terms of producing offense from the blue line. But yeah, in terms of the draft picks. Trading up for Alexander Zhuravsky is ballsy. I like it. I think it's you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket and you're taking a big swing on him. And clearly they see top six skill in this player, and the handling definitely supports that. I had him a little bit lower than this, and he would not have been a player I would have traded up for in this slot. I had my eye on like Blake Fiddler. I thought that he could have been interesting, but after drafting Noah Dobson or trading for Noah Dobson, maybe you didn't need the right D quite as much as you did previously. But LJ Mooney was fantastic value in the middle rounds in the fourth round at 113th overall, a player I've loved all year long in my views of the NTDP. And the way he moves on the ice is very Lane Hudson-esque, which I think is going to give a lot of Habs fans, or has already given a lot of Habs fans a lot of hype in terms of his like development camp footage of everyone being like, look at that guy, he moves like Lane, and everyone's getting excited about that, which is fun. But I also love the like trading up for Hayden Papanicus in the third round. Like I think that was really shrewd business because all the big guys were going off the board super fast. Basically, no one was falling among big guys that play well and are projectable and bring a variety of things. They were all off the board in the second round. except for Hayden Papanicus. He was like the one guy that I had top 50. He was 6'4", that was somehow just slipping. And then the Habs nabbed him. And I think he's a really interesting, like potential third line center of the future in Montreal who brings good details, two-way ability. He's a solid, fluid skater. He has a good amount of skill. He can create. And he's going to be in a great position to also take a leap in his development this season, likely as the first line center with the Kelowna Rockets alongside potentially TJ Ginla. That's going to be a whole bunch of fun to see as well. So I think there were a bunch of swings here that Montreal took that were quite intelligent. I mean, Bryce Pickford is a swing on a D+1 guy, a re-entry who like scored over 30 goals from the blue line between the regular season and playoffs combined for Medicine Hat. Great goal scorer. Like one of the better goal scorers among the defensemen in this entire draft class. But still has to work a little bit on his skating, and he's a couple years out certainly. But I think that's an interesting like shot to take, especially after moving out Logan Mailloux a couple days later. You have another offensive defenseman on down the right side in the system who's a couple of years younger, a bit more raw, not as big, but has I think a bit more balance between like his two-way game than Logan Mailloux does. Who like if anyone's seen the J Fresh graphic of Logan Mailloux's like 7 NHL games in October. It's like he was like about 5 times more chaotic in terms of creating a lot of offense, but conceding an insane amount of offense on the ice than any other defenseman league wide in that sample. I think he was on the ice for like 4 expected goals per 60, but like 7 expected goals against per 60. So like he is pure chaos. Bryce Pickford brings some offense, but isn't that chaotic, which I like. So I think overall the Habs did well. Carlos Handel was good value as well as a two-way guy, good puck mover from the blue line, German defenseman playing the QM JHL. I like the draft class. I think that again there were other guys I think I would have personally swung on, but other than that, I think that the Habs did well. And overall, after the first like 4 picks that the Habs made, and add in LJ Mooney with that, I had absolutely no complaints personally as a Habs fan.